YouTube, it's motomattman. Today no sunshine. Sun was shining when I got ready to leave the house, but it's upper 40s today. It's not too terribly bad. Pretty windy, but other than that, I mean, it sure beats the heck out of the 30s and the snow that we've been dealing with for whatever seems like forever. Anyway, today I thought I'd talk about the bike I'm on, my VFR, and why the VFR. Well, there's a few reasons. Number one, it's a sport bike, but it's not a sport bike. And what I mean by that is it's got the soul of a sport bike and the heritage of a sport bike, because the VFR Interceptor actually was the predecessor to the Hurricane, which was the predecessor to today's current CBRs. Before Honda raced the CBRs, they raced the Interceptors, the VFRs. It has the sportiness and, like I said, the soul of a sport bike, but it has a more upright riding position. It doesn't have true clip-ons. It's got these little short risers here, so you're a little bit more upright, and that makes it what they would call a sport tourer. That's one of the reasons. One of the other reasons is just a flat-out Honda reliability. But this bike has a V4, which is really sweet. And it has a V4 without having to spend all the money that you would need to get one of the other current V4s, like the Ducati Panigale or the Aprilia. You get that V4 in a Honda. It has an awesome sound to the V4. It's very distinctive. It also has torque, like gobs of torque throughout the entire rev range. It's kind of like having two V-twins bolted together. So imagine that torque that you get out of in the lower rev ranges out of, like, let's say a Harley V-twin. You get that times 2, but you also get the high revving that you get out of your standard inline 4. So you kind of get the best of both worlds, and you get that just awesome exhaust note. The other thing that's really cool about this bike, that's not something that you see every day, is, like those more exotic Italian bikes, it's got a single-sided swing arm. Now, the single-sided swing arm, besides just looking cool, actually has a great maintenance benefit to it. And by that I mean, in order to change my rear tire, all I have to do is loosen up my slip-on my exhaust, pull that off, and then take my impact gun and remove 4 lug nuts. And I mean lug nuts, like the lug nuts on your car or your truck. I remove those and the wheel comes off. The brake assembly, the chain, all of that stuff stays in place. So there's no having to adjust your chain even when you remove the rear wheel. No pulling out an axle and all of that. It's the same as removing a tire from your car, which makes it super easy. And because this isn't a hardcore sport bike, because it's a touring bike, it came with a center stand. So I popped the bike up on the center stand, loosen up the 2 nuts for the exhaust flange, remove the exhaust hanger, the slip-on hanger, pull that slip-on off, take my impact gun and remove the 4 lug nuts and put my rear wheel in the trunk of my car or the bed of my pickup and take it to the dealer and have them put a new tire on, and then bring it home and reverse the process. I mean, you're literally talking under 5 minutes to remove the rear wheel from this bike. I mean, it's really awesome. Now, there's a few other things. One of the things I absolutely love on this bike, and you get it on a lot of newer bikes as well, not on any of my other bikes, not on my Sportster or my Yamaha, but it's got a fuel gauge. I mean, so I know when I'm getting low on fuel. And I tell you what, I lived for years without having one. I mean, decades without having a fuel gauge. But after having a bike with a fuel gauge, man, that's nice. Something else that my wife wishes that she had on her Sportster, and that's, I have a hydraulic clutch on this bike, which means not only can I pull in the clutch lever with one finger, I can do it with my pinky. It makes it really nice, especially when you're on the back roads, on the twisties, or you're going up and down hills, or you're in stop and go traffic in town. It makes it really nice. You know, no more tiring out your forearms or your hands with the clutch in, clutch out, clutch in, clutch out, clutch in, clutch out. It makes it really, really nice. You know, now the other thing, I get nice wind protection. If I want, I can get down in a tucked position and really knife through the wind. But even when I'm sitting more upright like I am now, I at least have this small windscreen to protect me from the wind. Now, one of the downfalls when it comes to the wind is the side winds. Because it's a full fairing bike, I get blown across the lanes like I'm a giant sail. But it adds a little bit to the comfort. It has awesome mirrors. I mean, like absolutely great mirrors that are very easy to use, because when I park the bike at home in the garage, they'll fold completely in like this, out of the way. But when I'm ready to ride, I just pop them back out like that, and they're back in position. No more fiddling with the mirrors like I normally have to do on a constant basis on my other bikes, no matter what. I mean, it just seems like I could leave the bike parked in the garage all by itself, my Sportster, and the next time I get on the bike, I've got to adjust the daggone mirrors. And it's it's my own fault, because they're little bitty mirrors. They're more for looks than actual usability. But I can never get them adjusted right. But it's a very comfortable bike. It's got a good sized fuel tank. It's got outstanding power. I mean, it's a 1997, so we're talking about a bike that's 22 years old. It's got 62,000 miles on it. But I tell you what, it'll keep up with your 600 Super Sports. I mean, is it going to keep up with a current GSXR 750? No. Is it going to keep up with a full liter bike? No. But I tell you what, this bike will hit 100 miles an hour going uphill like it's nobody's business with just a little crack of the throttle. And it's got an almost 12,000 RPM red line. I mean, so you can wind it way up. It's something, if you guys and gals out there haven't checked out a VFR, take a look at them. I mean, they've been around forever, and there's a reason they've been around for so long. And there's a reason why there's so many people that absolutely swear by them. Now, the newer ones have definitely gotten to be more touring than sport. They've gotten to be heavy and bloated. So you're not going to be able to throw the bike over into corners as much as you can with this one. But on a long trip, you're going to be more comfortable on them. And they still have that V4 today. There were a lot of things to this bike when this bike first came out that were new and state-of-the-art. Groundbreaking. And I still get people making comments all the time about the bike, either about the looks of the bike, or man, I used to have one, I wish I still did, or a buddy of mine had one. And like I said, I mean, it just has a sound that's totally unique. And I think that's one of the things that I love the most about it, to be honest with you, is just that sound. Because if I'm out riding and Mrs. Motomattman's at home, I mean, we get a lot of bikes that ride by our house. And to be honest, I've even had some other motovloggers that have mentioned the fact that without knowing it, they've come down my road. They may not know what house I have, but they've seen my vlogs and said, hey, you know, I've been on that road a ton. Well, here's the thing. When I'm coming home, Mrs. Motomattman knows that it's me because of the sound of the bike, because it's so much different than a cruiser, a Harley, obviously, but it's so much different than other sport bikes because of that V4, and because of the fact that we live in a rural area. There aren't Ducatis and Aprilias and so forth running around our area. You've got to go more towards Cleveland or down towards Akron to find people that are riding on your Italian exotic sport bikes. But anyway, just wanted to, you know, point out the why of the VFR, some of the pluses of the bike. I mean, some of the minuses I mean, I've got some cracks and scuffs and stuff in the fairings, and I'd really like to replace them, but because it's a 22-year-old bike, it's not like I can just run out to my local Honda dealer and order new ones. Even most of the aftermarket fairing manufacturers aren't making ones for this bike. That's probably the biggest minus. There are still a lot of aftermarket accessories that I can get for the bike. I mean, this bike's got a zero gravity windscreen on it. I got little shorty levers on it and whatnot. I mean, I've had a problem with, mentioned before, about the tank grips. They don't make them specifically for this bike. But the pluses definitely outnumber the minuses. again, like I said, if you get an opportunity to take one for a spin, try it out. And they're a blast. But anyway, I'm gonna end it here. I hope everybody's having a great day. It seems like the weather's, making that turn. It looks like over the next 10 days, our temperature, the lowest high temperature we're going to have in our area is 39. So maybe spring actually is on the way. I hope it is where you are. And I hope everybody gets a chance to get out there on two wheels. And if you do, remember, like always, keep your shiny side up and the rubber side down. If you like what you see, make sure you click that like and that subscribe button, and by all means punch that bell to get notifications when I upload new content. So until next time, everybody have a great day.